I'd always see these chunky blankets online and thought they'd make great gifts. But then I saw the prices online. Some were $215, while others were all the way up to $285. And the highest I saw was $320. But I found a way to make one yourself and way cheaper. You're first gonna need your yarn, which this yarn was the Bernat Big Blanket Yarn. It really can only be found at Michael's. Now you're gonna need 6 skeins of this yarn when you go to the store. And what that will run you for 6 skeins will be $25 to $40, depending on what coupons you got at Michael's. You're first gonna wanna compile all of the yarn skeins into one giant ball. You can either do this by tying the ends together, or you can sew them together, which really isn't as hard as it seems. You're left with this giant ball of yarn now, and you're ready to get started. So now you're gonna make the first knot. Cross over the yarn, and then you're gonna twist the top. And once you twist the top, you're gonna reach through and grab the long part of the yarn to pull through. And this will be your starter knot. So then you're gonna lay this down onto the table. And you're gonna wanna make sure that that short piece is at the top. So go ahead and flip it to the top and make sure at this point that all of your yarn is on the left side right now. And so once you bring that long piece underneath that short piece, you're gonna grab the yarn and pull it through the loop right there. And you're going to be making another loop. And then you're going to turn that loop and twist it to the left. And then you're gonna grab the long piece of the yarn again and then pull it through that loop, making another loop. And you're just gonna keep repeating this process because this is going to make the width of your blanket. So make this however long you want the width of your blanket to be. So once you have the width that you like, you're gonna start going the other direction with the yarn. So go ahead and take that long piece of the yarn and make another loop. And once you've made this loop, you're going to wanna twist it so that the yarn is going in the other direction. So go ahead and flip that yarn, and then once you've done that, you can kind of move all of your yarn to the other side of the table. This is what you're gonna be doing back and forth the entire time you're making the blanket. Whenever you're switching directions, make sure you move your entire yarn ball to the other side. It'll just make it a lot easier. Then once you have the yarn there, you're gonna start looping it through the loops you made on your base layer. So one thing to watch out for is to not loop it so close to your previous loop. Don't loop it right there where I'm pointing, loop it right there. So once you start making these loops, you're gonna wanna start making them all the same size. And they don't have to be exact, you don't have to get a ruler out or anything, but just make sure that they're all around the same size. And you can kind of tug and pull to make sure they kind of even out over time as you're going along. And make sure you're just kind of putting it in the right loop as you're going around this first time. And then you make it towards the end, and so now I'm going to want to switch directions and go back the way you just came. So make sure, as you see, that the string is coming out of the left side and it's going to head down the left direction. So then once you move your yarn to the other side, this will make it easier to then start pulling it through those loops once again. Same style as we did before. And just keep that going all the way down the left line and then switch once you have to come back to the right side. So now when you're at the end of your blanket and you made your final loops, you're gonna take your loop, twist it to the right, and then pull the next loop and twist that one to the right too. And just keep this trend going all the way down to the end of the blanket. And once you're at the end, then you are finished. So all you really have to do is sew that end into that blanket right there. And then you're gonna go to the other side and sew that end into that blanket. And you can do that for the top 2 corners too. And then your blanket's totally finished. It's all done, there's nothing more you need to do.